Fat Show. So thank you for joining me about my Carb Zone diet plan that I use to actually transform many of the contestants, or clients you should say, on the I Used to Be Fat Show. So check this out. This is what I call a Carb Zone nutrition plan. Now granted, you have all this information that came with this product you purchased, so bear with me on the lack of detail I have here. But the main thing, the reason why I even videotape this, is just to explain to you why we do it. Alright? Alright, the purpose of the Carb Zone diet is the 3 T's. You got timing of food, type of food, and total amount. So a lot of times you might be eating the right food, but maybe when you eat it during the day is not the best time, and you might not be seeing the results you're trying to get. Or maybe it's the total amount. Maybe you eat a lot of food that's healthy, or you eat healthy food, but it's just too much. It's more than what you need. You're not burning enough calories, and you're actually still storing fat. So let's take a look and try to clean all this up, okay, so we can get rid of the garbage and get the results. So if you look here, my Carb Zone diet works this way. There's Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. Alright? Zone 1 is basically meal 1 and 2. Zone 2 is meal 3 and 4, and Zone 3 is meal 5. Now, let's just say you have like a 9-to-5 job, you get up at 7 a.m., okay? I like to say Zone 1 is somewhere around, like, say 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., or maybe like actually more like, yeah, 1 p.m. is good, where Zone 2 is somewhere around, I'm gonna go backwards a little bit, like a 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.-ish. Where Zone 3 is like 4 and 6 p.m., okay? So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, for example, you do not want to eat beyond 6 o'clock. I'm sorry, beyond 5 o'clock. Now, if you do go to bed later, say maybe 12 p.m., then you could eat up until as late as 7 p.m. But the key here, and remember guys, we're looking at food as a fuel source for our bodies to function and to, do the activities we do. Not as a, we don't want to have like a romance with food. It's not something that food isn't our center focus. We don't live to eat, okay? It's eat to live. Alright, then breaking this down a little bit more details, alright? Zone 1, the difference between Zone 1, 2, and 3 is that in Zone 1, you get to eat starches and fruit, where in Zone 2, you eat a starch and vegetable, and in Zone 3, you only eat a vegetable. So Zone 1 and 2, you get to eat starches. Example of starches, it's in your information, in your packet, but that would be like yams, oatmeal, whole grain bread with 3 to 4 grams of fiber per slice, things like that, brown rice, quinoa. In Zone 2, you don't get to eat fruit, and I'm going to go into that in just a moment, but Zone 2, you do get a vegetable, and the difference here, the reason why, oh, I forgot. We eliminate starches in Zone 3. Put it this way, okay? Starches are good. Certain types are. The kinds I mentioned earlier, yams, potatoes, rice, yams, rice, oatmeal. The reason why they're good is they provide you a lot of B vitamins, fiber typically, and they provide you with carbohydrates, which is energy. Well, guess what? You're busy. You're working out, hopefully, somewhere between the 7 and 5 o'clock time, or Zones 1 and 2. And that means that you need energy then. So you eat carbohydrates, you eat starches. Zone 3 here, we shouldn't be, ideally if you got to work out at night, fine, but still you're not eating the starches. So Zone 3 is the end of the day. We're typically probably sitting around, not as active. That's why we don't want to have the starches, okay? So we get rid of starches, Zone 3, that's it for starches. Backtracking here to fruit, only in Zone 1, not 2 or 3. Fruit is like a... It's like, we split it into 2 things. It's got tons of vitamins for you, which are super healthy, and depending on which fruit you have, but also the sugar in fruit acts like sugar and corn syrup in a way, okay? And I'm not going to go in detail on it, but basically it's like eating sugar, okay? So imagine taking a glass of water, filling it up with 5 tablespoons of sugar, okay? And that's what it would be like, eating a banana, okay? So the fruit type you choose, you're going to want to stick with like a green apple, a fruit that's more tart, strawberries, okay, opposed to blueberries. You can have blueberries. They're great for you. They have a lot of antioxidants, okay? But it's a very small portion. You'll see in the manual, there's a lot more strawberries you can eat per blueberry to get the same amount of calories. So we got to watch what we eat in fruit. And we use fruit because of the energy purposes to get us going earlier in the day. But as you see, it's not in zone 2 or 3 because we don't want a lot of sugars in our diet. Then here, if you look, meal 2 is just protein and almonds. You can substitute it's quarter cup almonds no matter who you are, no matter how many calories you're eating a day. Almonds are the best choice for a nut if you choose a nut. You can also go with walnuts. Those are great too. Cashews are alright, but I prefer almonds. And the reason for the almonds is you get a lot of good fatty acids, which they help lubricate the joints. They help tissue repair, you know, muscle, skin, and all that. And they also lower your cholesterol, which is the big one. They lower your LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol. So almonds are good. Zone 2, you get a vegetable and a starch and a protein. So we're eating, you know, once again, we're getting a protein with every meal, meal 1, 2, leading up to meal 3. We still get our starches, but we're using a vegetable now because that's where all the minerals are. Your minerals, the reason why we want minerals, and that's, you know, the whole purpose is for muscle function, okay? So if you want your heart running, you know, you want to be able to lift your arms, you want to be able to pick yourself out of bed in the morning, you want to eat foods enriched in minerals. That's going to be spinach. That's going to be, you know, green beans, potassium, you know, anything really green leafy foods, green beans, Brussels sprouts, things like that. They have minerals, and those are healthy for you. So you want to eat those with your, you know, with your food. Meal 4 here, still in zone 2, we get a vegetable and protein. So if you see, for meal 4 and 5, we've cut out the carbs. Okay, meal 4 is kind of like a transition meal because it might be at 4 p.m. and then meal 5 might be at 7 p.m. for you. So meal 4 is identical to meal 5. It's a transition meal, but we keep it under zone 2 typically. And that's the same thing, you want vegetables and protein. And then zone 3, we do vegetables and protein. Now I skip protein. Protein actually we have every meal. That really has nothing to do with the carb zone because it's not a carbohydrate. But let me talk about protein real quickly here. Protein is the building block of muscle. So your heart, your organs, all your muscles, that's what protein's made out of, okay? Except for your brain. Your brain's mostly made of omega-3s from almonds, alright? But anyway, the protein in the food we consume, we want to pick foods that are low in fats. You know, a lot of people might be vegetarian or vegan, so you're not going to be too happy if I recommend a lean steak or some turkey burger or chicken. But here's the thing: if you are not vegan or you're not vegetarian, you know, you can eat meat and still be healthy. You just want to choose white meats, chicken breast, not the dark meat. You want to, if you can go. I love turkey burger. You know, you can even get the 93% lean, 7%. Turkey burger you find in any local grocery store, and just cook the fat off on a fat-free, use a fat-free pan spray or a grill, whatever, drain the fat off the meat. There's not a lot. It's very lean and healthy. Fish is probably your best source of protein. Egg whites, you can do protein powders, etc. Things like that. And all these portions are going to be mapped out in your nutrition handouts, okay? But let me get, once again, guys, I cannot emphasize the purpose of the carb zone is food timing. Timing. It's the 3 T's: timing, type, and total. So remember that. TTT. When you go to eat food, think of your carb zones, alright, by Mike, Trainer Mike, and that's timing, type, amount. We got timing, that's what the zones are. We have type, that's where I give you the allowance on your starches, your fruits, your proteins, etc. And then you have amount, and that's the portions that you'll find in your handout on the 1,200, 1,400, or 1,600 calorie diet plan. Thank you guys so much. I hope this added to added to the value of this program you purchased, and best luck to you. You can always contact me through Facebook, and my www.myvipfitness.com is my website. I have a upgoing blog there, and there's a lot of things we have going on. It's just a way, if you ever have questions on health or fitness, please email me. You can get that through my website or Facebook me. You can get that instantly.